Good afternoon. My name is Ingrid, Customer Service. I'm here to give you another video with helpful tips on how to improve your customer service. And this is especially for leaders and team managers and ops managers who sometimes they're agents, they're burnt out. And what can we do to reignite the passion that they once had being on the phones? The first thing is, it's not just burnt out does not mean they're lazy or they're ungrateful. It just means they have been giving and giving and giving, and now their tank is empty. So it's up to us to reignite that purpose that they once had, the passion that they once had for helping customers. So here are a couple of tips that we can use to reignite that passion that they once had. The first thing, don't ignore it. Just don't ignore it. And you can always tell when a person is not interested and when they answer the call. Hello, my name is Ingrid. How can I help you? They're not into the call. By the tone alone, they're not interested. And of course, the customer can tell. So what happens when the agent gets off of that call? What we can do is put them on a brief hold. Just a brief hold, just to ask, is everything okay? Are you feeling okay? Now, this lets the agent know, at least you care. You're asking the question, and that can open the door for them to open up with you what really is going on. Secondly, ask. Again, ask. Don't ignore. Say, for the last couple of calls or the last couple of days, I've noticed that you're not yourself. You're not taking your calls the way that you used to. You seem concerned. Something's worrying you. Is there anything else we can do to help you? All right? People want to be heard. Even the agents, they want to be heard. They don't want to be handled, not just handled. Yes, we're there to give them feedback and to help them, but it shows a genuine interest when you ask them, is there something I can do to help? Perhaps, get you back to where you were once before. Now, step 3, offer flexibility with whenever possible. Okay, so here is where we can tell them, is there something you can do for a couple of hours that would take your mind off of this? Perhaps they just need a break from taking calls back to back, especially if that has been happening. I know personally from experience with my agents, when they were taking calls back to back, say we had an unusual amount of calls or people called out and the calls just kept coming back to back to back. And some agents, they did not even have time to do their notes, put their notes in, because a call would come in right away. So, they have no time. So I would take them off the phone for a couple of hours because I realized, they've just been taking back to back. Take them off and let them do chat or emails or something just to break the monotony of taking calls back to back. And trust me, that helps. The next thing we can do is remind them of their value. Remind them, when you first started, you were so passionate. You were great, and you still are. You're a terrific asset to this team, and we definitely want to be able to help you in any way that we can. Now, do you remember, and let's bring up something that they were good at when they first started. Do you remember when you first started, we used to have all these dreadful calls, customers complaining, and we would ask you to take the calls because you were so good at giving them a solution and fixing them and calming them down. Now, what can we do to get you back to that stage? Just let us know. Maybe it's something else that you would like to do. This is not what you want to keep doing all the time. You have to get engaged with them and find a solution, both of you. Not just you asking questions, but you want their buy-in. And they may tell you, yes, I've had enough of this. I'd like to try something else. That's understandable if they've been doing this for a long time and they are constantly taking calls back to back. Or they may say, I just need a break. It's not the calls, it's not the customers. I just need a break. It's something personal, and I would just like to be off the phones for a while. And of course, you work with them, because when people realize you will work with them and you are willing to hear them and be there for them, they trust you more and they will give more when they do come back. So always, these are just a couple of things, and remember the culture. We as leaders, we're there to help these people. They are the front line, they're the business. Without people on the phones and taking the calls, we have no business. So we have to be mindful of how we treat them, listen to them, offer to help them in any way that you can. It goes a long way with an agent, because when they do come back on board, if they come back to the phones or if they go somewhere else in the company, they will always remember how you treated them. And that is what matters. So these are just a couple of tips to help you should you be experiencing agents who are not where they used to be. Once again, I hope this was helpful, and please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Speak to you soon. Bye.